Wow, no volume.
You couldn't even control the volume on it. Amazing. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Advanced Monday Afternoon Live Stream. I'm Peter, and I'm joined this week by John. Hello, John.
Hello, Peter. It's good to be here on a Monday.
Yes.
We're talking about TV today.
TV.
You know, we have a remote there. That's something that I haven't used in a while.
Yeah?
Yeah, I haven't used my remote in a while, but I'm still watching TV through my phone most of the time.
That's the thing. Yeah, nowadays, TV, it's still out there, although I haven't watched TV myself all that much. I tend to watch streaming stuff now or videos on YouTube. We don't have a broadcast signal in our home. So when we have a screen, of course, everyone has a screen these days, but we use it mostly for Netflix or for YouTube or something like that. We don't watch like sitcoms or news broadcasts, stuff like that.
Yeah, I wonder how many of you are TV watchers out there. If you still watch TV on your screen, let us know. I know that a lot of coverage can be found through YouTube. You can go to the live feed of certain events, like the LA wildfires. Is anyone watching the LA wildfires right now on their TV? Let us know what you've seen.
Yeah. And check out our poll. Start always, of course, with our poll. How often do you watch TV? 2 or more hours per day, and there's no judgment here. This is judgment-free live stream. So 2 or more hours per day do you watch? Less than 2 hours per day. So, you know, each day, but not 2 hours. 2 or more hours per week, or less than 2 hours per week. Just not a big television fan. And again, these days, sometimes we talk about watching TV, we talk about streaming something. We sometimes talk about them like they're the same thing. Today we're going to talk about specifically TV. So if you stream a lot of stuff, that doesn't count for today. You know, great, but we're talking about broadcast TV. Although, like you said, you can watch it after the fact on YouTube or even live on YouTube.
Sure, yeah. So we'll talk about just the TV today. I feel like my cell phone is my new TV. I spend a lot of time on my cell phone after the kids have gone to bed. I spend, I think, several hours a day on my cell phone. I'm not saying you should do that too, but I'm sure some of you can relate.
Definitely. And relating to our article, our magazine, of course, Advanced Magazine, the article here is in news, watching TV and healthy aging.
Ooh, okay.
So there does seem to be a connection between watching too much TV and not aging as healthy as you could. Check it out in this week's newsworthy article of your January Advanced Magazine.
Yeah, well, the polls results are coming in. Agatha, you say you are watching the news about the LA fires, but I don't want to watch the wildfire thing too often because it's getting heavier and heavier, emotionally heavy. Yeah, it's definitely a very serious cataclysm. A cataclysm is a disastrous event. CATACLYSM, I think is how you spell that.
Yeah.
Steve, you said when you were in art school, him and his tutor watched
Magnum PI.
Thank you. That is in my brain now. PI stands for Private Investigator. He's a detective. And Magnum is a kind of gun. And it was your favorite TV show. Tom Selleck driving his Ferrari. Wow, yes.
Chasing down
David
the bad
High,
guys,
you say, your TV was broken? What happened? How
Don't
did
have
it break?
TV anymore since
Don't
my
leave
last
us
one was
hanging.
broken around 8 years ago.
Uh-oh.
So you've coped. you've managed to adjust. But still, the benefit is that my kids won't be addictive to it.
They won't. Yeah, that's right.
Smart.
You could just break a number of things.
Can go either way. You can have too much of it. So that's probably for the good. Practice Noob, good to see you again, Practice Noob. I watch cable TV only for local news, but mostly watch streaming content, such as Disney Plus and YouTube these days. Joshing, with another good vocab word, it's so disheartening news. I assume you're talking about the LA wildfires. And
such disheartening news.
Disheartening. We feel it in our heart, and it lowers our spirits. It's such heavy news. Actually disheartening. Good word.
I lived in Los Angeles for like 8 years.
That's
right.
So
the fire. We should be like news reporters here, but the fires are happening over on the west side of Los Angeles. The Los Angeles coast sort of curves out over the ocean on the north side, and the fires are up along the mountains. LA has kind of a ring of mountains, especially on the top. And those are the Hollywood Hills. Like, they become the Hollywood Hills, where that Hollywood sign is. But but the fires are more on the west side. So it's burning some people's really expensive beachfront homes. It's one of the most expensive disasters in recent LA history, maybe ever. So anyway, that's your non-official news report.
That's your non-official news report from our man John Telfer, and that leads us into one of our vocab words for today. Let's jump right to it. Footage. F-O-O-T-A-G-E. Footage. John, what are we talking about with footage?
Okay, the footage, I believe, comes from an old film term, feet of film. When they used to have strips of tape, you would measure how much time you had to record based on the length of the coiled tape in these big drums. I could be wrong on that, but the footage is literally the length of tape, the things you've recorded. Now we use this word all the time, meaning the video content.
Right.
Basically what has been filmed. That is footage of an event, or you could have footage of your wedding, or you have footage of other things.
Yeah, you have footage of this live stream. After we've streamed it, you can go back and watch the footage of the live stream. But these days with the California wildfires, that's a lot of the footage that you're seeing on TV, if you're just flipping around the dial, is probably footage of the California wildfire.
Sometimes you'll see that AGE after certain terms. I think it's from the French, but it makes things into a noun.
Right,
basically.
footage.
Yeah, footage.
It's not footage, the age of my feet.
Right.
It's footage. Joshing.
Steve, you heard Kevin Bacon. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Indelible memory for these people. Yes, indelible,
great
meaning
vocab.
just can't forget, just seared into our memory. Indelible, good word.
Yes, Steve, us too, we're praying for that. Kevin Bacon was talking about the LA fire on his Instagram post. It's a very beautiful stretch of the LA coast, just north of the very famous Santa Monica Beach with the famous LA Pier.
Right.
So
that's a lovely area.
The air quality has really been bad. Teacher Garrett from Let's Talk in English has been telling us that his family almost can't go outside because of the smell, and they can see the smoke up on the mountains above them.
Yeah.
Well, we're seeing a lot of footage. There are different kinds of footage. You'll certainly see a lot of footage from the LA fire, some very riveting footage. If something is riveting, it makes you attached. You can't look away.
Like a rivet that holds a nut and a bolt together on a piece of metal. That's where it comes from. To be riveted figuratively is you are like held in place, just like a bolt and a nut.
You've probably seen that in your reading, R-I-V-E-T-I-N-G, riveting. There's also another term here for we sometimes use a promo.
Right.
So a promo is a little bit different.
P-R-O-M-O, promo.
Yeah. So a promo, how do we use that in the English language? What is a promo?
A promo. Well, a promo will have footage of a show that the network wants you to watch. Usually a promo comes between programs or during the... excuse me.
Bless you. A promo, it's a promotional footage of a TV show. Sometimes a promo will be a scene from the new show. Sometimes it will be the actors talking about their experience. It's a little bit different from what we call a movie trailer. A movie trailer is like it's a small story. A trailer is a kind of promo, but a promo, generally speaking, might have interviews from the cast or celebrities, or the director talking, or footage from behind the scenes.
Right. When you're talking about TV, a promo will just say, tonight at 8 o'clock, Jan doesn't know what to feed her cat. Tune in then. So very, very short, very brief to promote the thing. Practice
good news.
Noob.
Practice Noob, you said your favorite YouTuber posted desperate footage of the event. Yeah, a lot of YouTubers live in Los Angeles. It's become something of the new center for what we call new media. A lot of the famous YouTubers are in LA.
Right.
Steve, you said you want to watch The Mandalorian, but you think it's too expensive. Yeah, I canceled my Disney Plus subscription recently as well to cut corners to save money. But you did just, Steve, I know you're an action figure guy. I think that action figure might be as much as the Mandalorian show, but I'm not one.
They might be, yes,
There's
definitely.
a lot of footage there.
But promo, just going into our next vocab term here for TV, promo will often be played before and telling
the family might sit down and watch a TV show. So primetime is going away a little bit, but primetime is definitely that time where you'd want your TV program to be. It's the most expensive time to run ads because it has historically the most viewers.
Right, and you'll hear it outside of TV discussions sometimes as a compliment, as a value
Christina,
expression. You know, oh, this industry, this is ready for prime time, or this example, you know, that report you did, that is ready for prime time. It means, because prime time again is what, like John said, when there would be the most viewers, so the TV networks are going to put their most popular shows there to get at those viewers. So something that's ready for prime time is, you know, ready to go, top quality, A-list.
Exactly. Prime time has come to mean top quality. And you can also use it as an adjective sort of casually. You might say, well, that was really prime time right there.
Yeah.
Or if your friend does something really silly and you get the footage, you say, this is prime time stuff right here. Everyone's going to see it. Steve, to answer your question, you say, what does to be concluded means? You see that after movies, if they're left off on a cliffhanger or there's something that's not resolved, it means there will be another movie that concludes or wraps up the story, God willing.
Right,
So
or another episode of the TV series. If it's like the end of the season, but they're going to come back next season after a few months, they may say to be concluded at the final moment of the final episode, just so you know that this isn't the end of the story, and come back and watch more of this.
There is a Back to the Future Part 3. It's set in the Wild West. That I won't give away anymore. So
Christina
that concludes.
Chen, hi. First time here. First hi here to you. Good to have you with us, Christina.
I think primetime, I believe it is one word, by the way, primetime.
Yeah, you will see it as either. You will see it as either. It means the same thing.
Yeah.
Prime time or prime time. Yeah, because I mean, historically, I think it was originally the prime.
Prime meaning top,
right.
Like preeminent or number one.
Right, so they would have it in two words, but it became so common over time that people just turned it into one single word. Prime time. That's prime time, baby.
Christina, you say TV is like the traditional TV.
Ah, the traditional TV.
Basically, we're talking about traditional TV words that have sort of trickled or moved into the way we talk about phones and things like that.
Right.
But we are talking about traditional TV. So traditional broadcasting television. We were talking about earlier how we often use our phones a lot instead of sitting together in front of the TV.
Yeah.
And this really changes the watching dynamic.
It
I know
does.
my wife and I, we tell each other, okay, 20 minutes, we'll be on our phones because we know we both want to check what's going on, and then we're going to talk.
Right,
you have to be a lot more intentional about having conversation with people when you're watching different things,
now,
as opposed to one big screen.
The question is, do you create promos for that time when you'll talk to each other? You know, it's like, I'll be watching TV, but you know, in 20 minutes, I'll tell you about my day. Tune in then.
You can make a promo. That's
exactly.
Good. You've overstocked donation. Agatha, you say we have overstocked supplies at donation centers and many volunteers at the donation centers.
Thanks, Agatha. Good to
great.
know.
Let us know. Let us know where. All right.
One thing about TV that it does change over time, whether we watch it on our phones and when we watch it, but it will always feature our next vocab word, telegenic people.
Oh, okay.
Telegenic. John, what is telegenic?
Well, maybe you've heard of someone who is photogenic, and that means they look good on camera. If someone is telegenic, it means that they look good on live video broadcasting.
Right.
So typically, like the host of a news show is fairly good looking. You know, the famous people, or someone who Oprah, or what are some other famous
telegenic people? They're pretty much anyone who's starring in the show. The lead, the romantic lead especially, will be telegenic. Sometimes, occasionally, you'll get an actor who has what we call a character face, in which they are not conventionally handsome with the high cheekbones and the beautiful eyes and everything, but they are able to really emotionally express the inner life of the character they're playing, and so they'll get on the show in some way. Usually the bad guy is often more of a character person than a telegenic person, but even the bad guy can be telegenic sometimes because people like to look at attractive people on TV. That's one of the deep pleasures of TV, is just looking at telegenic people.
You know, there was a guy named Larry King, probably one of the most famous, I don't know if he was a prime time or a late, there's another time called late night, by the way. There are the late night shows where people talk a lot more. And Larry King is a very famous guy. I don't think of him as telegenic, but he had a really sharp focus.
Exactly.
So he was really Telegenic because of that. Steve, you say your favorite movie, Days of Thunder. I've heard that name. I have not seen it.
Days of Thunder. Tom Cruise is a Formula One race car driver.
Oh, I knew he was in Tropic Thunder, so maybe he just has this Thunder
NASCAR,
emblem.
excuse me. It's not the same thing, I know.
Well, there's another word we were discussing right before the show here, and we're almost at the end of our time, but it is a word for you advanced English learners who want to learn something new. Infotainment. You'll have to do some of your own research.
Yeah,
but
another word that probably started as 2 words but has become 1 word now, infotainment.
Yeah, it's not just information, it's not just entertainment, it's kind of a lighthearted information.
Right,
that's
it's
done
not fiction. It's not a story with characters.
Yeah.
It is news, but it's not hard news. It's more like what you see on Entertainment Tonight, where they tell you about what's going on in Hollywood. Or the Oprah Winfrey Show, and nothing against Oprah Winfrey, but she will tend to talk about like her favorite books or have a celebrity on, and so it's not fiction. Again, it's not a story, but it's not really, LA wildfires or the situation in Ukraine or something like that. That would not be infotainment.
David, you say, good question, can primetime refer to an athlete in the best period of their career? You probably could, but normally you'd say the peak or the prime of someone's career.
Right.
We often use the phrase the prime of life, talking about the years when you're the most healthy, right?
Yeah.
That is the prime of life, when you can do the most things.
Joshing, photogenic versus telegenic, the same, almost.
Same idea.
Yeah, same idea.
Yeah, but
telegenic
video.
For television,
Yeah.
photogenic for movies mostly. But
Info for
same idea,
entertainment.
good-looking person.
Yeah, you're right, Agatha. Well, friends, there's always more to learn. Please do subscribe to Advanced Magazine as one of your New Year's resolutions. It's great to get, we do have a lot of free online content, and it's always nice to have this time. So don't stop doing this. And if you can, talk to us on the screen, type to us. Even just speak out loud if you're in the privacy of your own house. But
and
keep
then
practice
type what you spoke out loud so we can give you feedback.
Keep practicing. The magazine, I would say it's a lot of bang for your buck. Like, you'll get a lot of English with the translation tucked away in the back for if you need a little help. You'll learn a lot of new vocabulary, and there are some amazing online resources that make learning certainly a lot easier. So don't go the easy route in your learning. Make sure that you do spend time in the text, reading, saying it out loud, listening to the advanced radio programs. I know it's going to be a busy new year, but think about that for one of your resolutions.
Make
readers.
your English ready for prime time.
Yeah, for real though.
And with that, we got to go now. On to your next show for the day. We'll see you next time, next Monday, back here. A new topic. Join us then. In the meantime, what else is on?
Doop, doop.